Hey guys, welcome to a brand new episode of Battle of the Schmoes podcast number 5. You're either watching this on YouTube, SoundCloud, or iTunes, any of the fun things here. But of course, you know what this episode is about, or what this podcast is about. It's this Schmoes Down. We're talking Schmoes Down, all the great matches for this week. We had World's Finest versus the Kingsmen, two new team competitors, which was actually a surprising match. I really like both these teams, which we'll get into in a little bit. And then we also, of course, have Drew McWeeny versus William Bibbiani. But before we got to that match, we got Josh Macuga versus Nick Scarpino, which is actually the first Patreon match. And overall, pretty nice week for the Schmoes Down. I think this is one of the better weeks for this month so far. And Cody, I want to hear your thoughts. Tell me, man. Introduce yourself to people who are new here, and of course, just give your overall entertaining thoughts.
Yeah, of course. Well, yeah, this week was awesome. Let's be honest here. But yep, guys, my name is Cody Curtis. Love being here. Love doing this podcast with Zach. And this is just a great time, especially for Schmoes Down fans. This has been a very, very exciting week. Before we continue, Zach is right, though, guys. If you don't have time to listen to this podcast, you can certainly find it on SoundCloud and iTunes. And for those of you who are listening, thank you for listening to the podcast. And before we continue on with our entertaining thoughts, we should talk about something a little bit more serious. If you guys don't know, not specifically Boston, but the state of Massachusetts suffered a really, really horrendous storm a couple of days ago. And a few houses have been destroyed, and they've lost a lot of power. And there's a lot of people who aren't exactly having the most pleasant time. So Zach and I, we just want to give a big shout out to them and say that our prayers and our love are with you guys, and we're hoping that you're all safe.
Yeah, no, I can't agree more. Praise to you guys. Leave some prayers for Massachusetts as they need it. But getting to the fun stuff, let's talk about the Schmoes Down this week. Great matches, I will say. First one we're obviously going to talk about is the team match. And the big bright star for this match, before we even got into who was playing, it was Emma Fyffe. Seeing her actually present and be able to be on the table with Ken Knapsack was a great banter back and forth. I really want more Emma Fyffe on the table. What do you think, Cody?
Absolutely. No, Emma Fyffe was awesome in this match. I mean, her presenting alongside Ken, one of my favorite things that they did is that since Ken has gone over to the dark side and become Kylo Ken, Emma Fyffe against the Wolf Dens, their banter back and forth, it was so awesome to see because they were just everything that the other one would say, either Emma or Ken, they would try to cancel each other out. And that was entertaining to see. And it's nice that they're actually getting different people to be hosts of the show. I mean, a little while ago, we had Rachel Cushing being a host for it, and now we've got Emma Fyffe. I can't wait to see if they get Breanne Chandler on there. I can't wait to see if they get Mike Kalinowski on the stand. But this is just awesome. And I mean, come on. Their banter back and forth. And once again, shout out to Mark and everybody who was part of creating the Schmoes Down. I mean, it was entertaining to say the least.
Oh, yeah, it was. And you bring up a good point. I don't think we'll ever see Mike Kalinowski closely, but I think Breanne Chandler, since she is hired to be a part of helping out with the Patreon Schmoes Down group, I think it'll really help out with that point. But, yeah, no, this was a great week. Let's talk about Kingsmen and World's Finest. Both great competitors. I think I want to first start out with the Kingsmen. Now, obviously, spoilers, you didn't watch Schmoes Down this week. We're sorry. We're spoiling this whole thing. The Kingsmen, let's just say this. They lost. I was kind of cheering for them. I'm a Kingsman. I'm a proud Kingsman. And sometimes I look like Taron Egerton from it. So it's a little fun thing right there. But just saying this for the least is, yeah, the Kingsmen. I was kind of going for them. I like their style, their suaveness to it. And they honestly gave up some pretty easy questions that was like, come on, guys, let's get this. What do you think about the Kingsmen, Cody?
I absolutely agree with you, Zach. Honestly, the Kingsmen are the people I think I identified with because they acted like Colin Firth in Kingsman: The Secret Service. They were classy and gentlemanly, and it was great to see. And I remember you and I were talking back and forth about when this match was going to come about, and we had our guess as to whether it was going to be Breanne Chandler and Mike Kalinowski, who was going to be the world's finest, or if it was going to be somebody new. Well, it was somebody new. And as far as people to come in the Schmoes Down and compete in their first team match, not too shabby whatsoever. Although, yes, some of the questions were very, very easy.
Oh yeah, no, you're totally right on that. But now we move over to World's Finest, the winners of this whole outcome, and I gotta say, I like their style too. I overall like Kingsman's more suaviness, but World's Finest, I think they are going to be one of those teams that come in, and I have a feeling they're going to do good this year. I mean, the two guys on this thing, I got to look up their names again, but they have great charisma together. The one guy doing the Batman voice the whole time was like absolutely funny. I really, really, really liked like their style, and they brought a lot of good aspects to them and how powerful their knowledge was in the movie Trivia Schmoedown.
Absolutely. I mean, once again, whenever you bring somebody on that's new to a show, you are definitely taking a risk. I mean, you don't know if they're going to be good for the show. You don't know what their personalities are going to be. And World's Finest, they came in, they kicked complete butt, and they showed everybody out. They showed everybody up. They did a great job in this match, and I can't wait to see where they go next. I mean, they started out small for sure, but I think as time goes on, they're going to progress, and they're going to be maybe not a complete force to reckon with, but I think they'll be at least a slight breeze against the other competitors.
Yeah, no, I can get with you on that. But really, the team match, it was just a fun match. Like, fun two competitors that I cannot wait to see what happens with them in the movie Trivia Schmoedown. But I will say, though, I think, honestly, I think we should just go straight to singles, because singles was, I think, where really the big stuff happened this week. And I think we should start with that Nick Scarpino coming back, the producer / seducer, versus Josh fucking Macuga. What were your overall thoughts, Cody?
Oh my, okay. How happy can I be about this? Oh my goodness. And not just for the match that we'll talk about later on, but this specifically, Scarpino versus Macuga. This was so great. I mean, how long has it been since these two have been in the Schmoedown competing? It's been such a long time. And although I will say, I thought round one was very, very easy. In fact, I think I scored 7 out of the 8 total points that you could get in round one. But, you know, the personalities that these two brought, it doesn't matter if the questions were easy. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're talking. Although I will say one thing that I was upset at that they got wrong was the Zootopia question. Honestly, I thought they would have gotten that right, but it really made it up for me when they got who directed Black Swan, and that was also the director of Mother, Darren Aronofsky. And that kind of brought it back to me. But this was entertaining to the max.
Yeah, no, it really was. Like, okay, come on. Macuga comes out, starts doing his little dance and stuff. And I mean, like, I thought when Macuga didn't know who his team was going to be, I think all of us thought it was going to be Scarpino that was going to end up being his team. Obviously, it's the Wildberries. I love the Wildberries, but I think they should really all join together, like Macuga says in his end interview. But I mean, their chemistry back and forth. I want a podcast with these two talking. Like, I don't care. Macuga is one of the most entertaining people. If you've ever seen his Josh Macuga show on YouTube, it is one of the most entertaining times ever. But the dude's just dancing. He's going, woo, 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 going like that. Freaking, I love when he spins the wheel and fucking Scarpino comes up behind and starts dancing with him too. Like, this is like the attitude, the dude in here that I love. We just need a whole beard Schmoedown. We just need a whole thing in here. I mean, hell, Men versus Movies Griffin. I could totally see him being with them because they all got the big beard and stuff. But I mean, Macuga's dancing style, and I love the whole chanting Natalie, 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 and it was just, this was such an entertaining match to say the least. Like, it was so fun, and I mean, overall, Macuga came out on top, 8-8 now. He's batting 500. Scarpino is 0-3, and this is the thing about Scarpino. He's gotten some really tough competitors. Like, this guy has not gotten the easy route. And I hope we get to see him again soon. I hope they don't kick him out and not let him play because he can't win. I think the guy has the potential to win. But yeah, no, I'm with you. That Zootopia question. Are you serious? Are you serious? That's like such an easy question. And it really was the easiest question to get on. But I will say, they did redeem myself. And I will say, Macuga, when he got Natalie Portman, I was like, oh, he's screwed. Like, Scarpino won it. But Macuga is one of the best guessers, especially when it comes to some of those, like, the classics and stuff. And no, I was with you. That first round, I actually got 8 out of 8. And I feel like this is what's going to happen. If I ever get to compete in the movie trivia Schmoedown, I'm going to go in that first round, and it's going to be like classics, biopics, all the stuff that I'm like horrible at. And I'm going to be so mad because I'm going to be like, yep, I lost. Throw me some animated questions. Throw me some easy balls. Come on, I got this. But yeah, overall, a really entertaining match. And yeah, I mean, I wish these two had their own podcast. I wish these two were on a team. Don't get me wrong, I love the Wildberries, but I want them on their own team, guys.
Yeah, you know what? One thing I would absolutely love for Scarpino and Macuga to do, I not only want them to be on a team together, but I want them to come out. I want Josh Macuga to be dressed up as Les Grossman from Tropic Thunder, and I want Scarpino to be dressed up like Matthew McConaughey from Tropic Thunder and going out, doing their little dance. I mean, entertaining to the max. It's one of those things where the movie trivia Schmoedown, I've already said, I think I would be decent in the regular game, but if I was to compete, it would have to be an Inner Geekdom match. That's where I would absolutely thrive. That's where I would want to be. But, I'll take what I can get. But yeah, this was great. This, honestly, I think I might go back and watch this episode again. This was so much fun. But you know what else was even greater? How about we get into the Clash of the Titans match that we had this week? That is Bibbiani versus, gosh, what's the other? Help me out here, Zach. Bibbiani.
McWeeny, the Godfather, man.
There we go. McWeeny versus Bibbiani. This match, honestly, this match surprised me. Not only because it was a complete blast. That didn't surprise me. But the fact is, two of the people that have gotten the most points ever in the movie trivia Schmoedown, and in this match, they actually struggled. That's one of the things that caught me off guard.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that, Cody, 100%. This was a tough match. Some of these questions, like when he went with Westerns, I was like, damn, that's a tough category. I would be so bad at Westerns. There were some questions, though, that like some of them, like the Lawrence of Arabia one, that was one when they named the names. Like, I haven't seen Lawrence of Arabia in probably like 4 or 5 years when I was taking a film class. And to be honest, I kind of fell asleep in it. I think it's a good film, but kind of overrated in my opinion. But I fell asleep during it, and I saw that question. I was like, oh, it's Lawrence of Arabia. And I think some of the questions were very much easy guesses. I think a lot of it. But there's actually a controversy a part of this match. Have you heard of the controversy, Cody?
What is the controversy?
So the controversial question in here is: do you remember that one question where it asked what movie was not nominated for best picture? It was Born on the 4th of July, Field of Dreams, and Dead Poets Society, and they all said Field of Dreams, right?
Yes. Yeah, I remember that.
They all three were nominated for best picture. So whoever picked that messed up because that was a completely wrong question.
Yeah, no, that was completely. Oh, I did not. Holy cow, you are right.
And you want to know something else that's crazy?
What else is crazy, Zach?
The other crazy part about this whole situation is, you know how Drew McWeeny he put Sleeping Bee and not Sleeping Beauty?
Yes.
Remember a couple matches ago when we had a team match and they wrote Sleeping Bee and Christian Harloff gave it to them?
Oh, yes. Yes, I do.
I mean, we're a Schmoedown podcast. I think this is something that you and me should be talking about is, did they fuck up?
Here's the thing with those two questions. I would have to say, yes. Yes, they did. And they need to reconcile that. They need to look into that. And look, Christian Harloff, Mark Ellis, Ken Knapsack. Okay, everybody behind the Schmoedown, if you are listening to this podcast, look, we love you guys.
We love you, totally.
But these are elementary mistakes. We're in the 5th season of the movie trivia Schmoedown.
But you know what I'll say against this is that I actually like seeing when big things like this happen. I don't know if you watched one of Jeremy Johns' newest videos, but he actually he forgot to do a jump cut. So it actually showed him stopping his camera, walking back, and started talking. Yep,
and that I'm not gonna lie, that was hilarious.
Oh, it is, and I love when that happens in YouTube. So like obviously like the Schmoedown, it's tough. It is very tough. But I had to point out the controversy because I mean you go through the comments and everyone is saying that. Everyone is saying that. like the question with the Oscars was a big thing that because even when I honestly thought it was I was like I thought all three of those were nominated, and I mean I don't know, would that have changed the game by the end of the question? Like, would this have helped Bibbiani if he would have gotten that right? Like, what do you think? Like, would this have changed the game by the end, or do you think in the end of the day it still would have been McWeeny on top?
Honestly, I still partially think it would have been McWeeny on top, but I think it would have become closer to a tie if these little points were reconciled. I mean, people make mistakes, that's for sure. Anybody certainly can, but I guess that's really all I have to say about that. What I will say is I honestly, the matches that we're getting in the Schmoedown, once again, Clash of the Titans, no matter what you want to call them, all the matches we've gotten this week, they've been great. Even though the first match that we got between World's Finest and the Kingsmen, I thought it was, I thought it was fine. I thought it was thoroughly enjoyable.
Yeah, no, it was totally fine. But you know what this match made it look like? It made it look like these guys were the gods, and the World's Finest was puny human, like Hulk would say.
You know what? It's kind of like, if you look at the Godfather films, it's kind of like this. It's like the first Godfather or the Terminator films. Terminator 1 comes out, which is the first match, but then Friday's matches came in, and that's where Terminator 2 comes in and blows everything else out of the water. It was fantastic.
Totally agree. You know what my favorite thing, though, about the Drew McWeeny versus William Bibbiani match was?
What was it, Zach?
I honestly will say this. I think Bibbiani has the best intro of any Schmoedown, besides that It one. Besides the It one and besides the American Psycho one that Brianne Chandler and Stacey Howard did. This is like a close-up there. I wouldn't be surprised if he had the best entrance of this year. When Riley, you just see in his face, he's like, and he's like, Aah! And he comes out like the alien. That was just, oh my God, that was just awesome to see. I love the creativity they bring to the show.
You know, it's one of those things. I love, more than any other entrance we get on the show, the horror entrances for the movie Trivia Schmoedown, I think, are just the best that we've gotten. Because they are the most entertaining. Because they have the right to be the most entertaining. Because, let's face it, Zach and I, we love horror movies, but some crazy stuff goes down in those films. Like Zach said, first Alien film, alien pops out of the middle of the chest of one of the crew members on the spaceship. You look at It, we got Pennywise. You look at, you look at Silence of the Lambs, we got Hannibal Lecter. Which, by the way, Bibbiani, when it comes to your Hannibal Lecter,
growl, growl. You know what else I'll say? Really small, quick fact is Alien. Did you know that Ridley Scott did not tell them that something was going to pop out of his chest?
I did know that, actually. It's one of my favorite.
So good little thing. I'll personally say I like the first Alien, but I think it's a little overrated.
Zach, if you think it's overrated, I'm with you there.
It's a fine film. I'm just not a big fan of Ridley Scott, but I will say I love Alien Covenant, so I guess I'll leave that there.
I'll say this: it's not a Ridley Scott film, but I love Aliens.
I've only seen it twice.
Okay, I think we should get back on point because this is.
Going back to the Schmoedown, this was such a fantastic week for the Schmoedown. Drew McWeeny, he is a monster, and it broke my heart when him and fucking Sam Levine didn't win against the Patriots. But I mean, this was a great week, and I can't wait to hear what you guys say down below in the comments. I can't wait to see what you guys say on SoundCloud and iTunes as well. But looking forward to the next week. Do you know what match is coming up on the 6th, my friend?
I don't know. Is it a little something called JTE versus? No, wait. The 6th.
This is a different week. I have the schedule up right now. You ready? No.
All right,
the 6th is Sam Levine versus Rachel Cushing.
Yes!
This is going to be a big, big match. Who do you got going into this?
Yeah, no, it's like I said always. Look, Sam Levine, his time has come. His time has come to end because Rachel Cushing is going to come up and she's going to destroy him. It's what it's going to come down to. Look, Sam Levine, he's had his time. But Rachel Cushing, she proved when she was going up against JTE, she's going to knock him out of the park. She's going to destroy him.
Oh, yeah, no, I can agree like 100%. You know what, though? I think it's either going to go one or two ways. Cushing is going to completely destroy Sam because she's going to crush her. She's the crusher. Or, because this is the thing, Sam had a fantastic year last year.
Yes,
I mean, Sam did such a good time last year. I have a feeling that Sam is going to come to play. And I think a lot of people are going to underestimate Sam, but I wouldn't be surprised if he defends the belt. But I personally have Rachel Cushing. Don't get me wrong, I love Sam Levine, but I think it's time for a woman to own that belt and defend it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we discussed this, our first episode of the Battle of the Schmoes podcast, which if you guys haven't listened to it yet, you can find it on SoundCloud and iTunes. There's your shameless plug for you. But, I mean, Rachel Cushing, her time has definitely come. I mean, ever since she began going into the movie Trivia Schmoedown, she was in the Inner Geekdom match, and then she moved on into the official games, and she's crushed it ever since. She's a great and fierce competitor. And Sam Levine could win, but I honestly think if Sam Levine does win, it's going to be by the smallest of margins, because Rachel Cushing, she's a champion, and she's going to take the belt in this match. I have the utmost faith in her.
Yeah, and then do you know what else happens on March 9th?
I don't know. Is it JTE versus John Roca?
No, that's the next week. No, this is another championship match. It's the Patriots versus Top 10.
That's what I was thinking of. Dude, here's the thing. Just like with Rachel Cushing, look, the Patriots are great competitors, but it's Team Top 10's time. They're going to take the belt.
Third time in a row. Third time's the charm. I'll say this. I'm going for Top 10 in this. But I think if Top 10 doesn't win this time, I honestly think someone new is going to have to take out the Patriots, because they are so devastating tough that it's going to be a tough match. But I think Top 10 has – I mean, we cannot take anything away from the Patriots. As cocky as they can be, they are awesome competitors. I'm really excited for both those matches. I'm a little more excited for the team championship match, though, just because – come on, Roca. Outlaw Nation, we are with you here. Kick some fucking ass. You and Matt Nost, that last game you guys played, you were kicking serious ass, and I believe in it. I believe in it. And of course, the next week, the thing that Cody keeps assuming to is I'm going to the Schmoedown live event where John Roca versus JTE is going on, and also the Wildberries versus Real Rejects, which is going to be a really fun time, and I can't wait for that. But overall, great week for the Schmoedown. Great stuff coming up for the Schmoedown. And Cody, got anything last to say with anything coming up? Anything that you have coming up that you think? And any other thoughts about these matches?
Oh, honestly, here's the thing. If Team Top 10 does not devastate Team Patriots, I think the Shire Wolves will be the next ones in line to take them out. Because here's the thing. Rachel Cushing and Clark Wolf and Rachel Cushing are on the same wavelength. They are equally good competitors, and they honestly, I think you get them in a team together, they will crush anybody that gets into their way. So whatever the Schmoedown has for us within the next few matches and in the near future, this is going to be great. And for sure, Zach, you're going to that event when you come back and we record another episode of Battle of the Schmoes. We are going to have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, totally agree, man. But yeah, that's Battle of the Schmoes, our podcast number 5. This is such a fun podcast, but there's something important that me and Cody want to remind you guys. Is coming Monday to a brand new YouTube channel is the Sweet Film Life. This is a brand new podcast that I'm going to let Cody talk about a little bit.
Okay, so one correction, though. The channel is called The Sweet Film Life. The podcast is called The Sweet Film Podcast. And guys, what is this? Well, going off of the theme of The Sweet Film Life, we wanted to create a podcast because everything on YouTube we find to be very formatted. I mean, you've got people who like to be characters. I mean, even with this podcast of Battle of the Schmoes, we've got some kind of format that we like to follow. But when it comes to the Sweet Film Podcast, we wanted it to be more laid back, more comfortable for people. So it's like we're going to your house, We're going to your living room and we're just sitting down and having a conversation with you. And we want to use this as not only a way to get to know each other and tell you guys more about us, but we also want to bring guests in so you can learn more about the fantastic people that are on this platform. We've got a lot of plans for this. And honestly, guys, we think you're going to love it because, like we said, it's not really all that formatted. It's just a way to get to know some really fantastic people. And the first episode of this podcast is going to be up on Monday at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time or 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we hope to see you guys there. Oh, yeah. And here's another side note. Unlike the Battle of the Schmoes, this podcast is pre-recorded. So it'll be up, and we hope to see you guys there.
Yeah, no, totally, guys. Hope to see you guys there. It's really a great discussion. I'm not going to lie. That was probably one of my favorite discussions I've done in a while about film. But really, overall, you guys are all the best. What else can we say? You guys are all sexy. You guys are all classy. And you guys are all schmoes. Stay classy, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining us for Battle of the Schmoes, Episode 5. And we can't wait to talk about more Schmo Down soon. Next week's going to be a big, big talk. I think me and Cody both know that for sure.
Yep, we absolutely do. And guys, as always, make sure you all, like Zach said, stay classy. Become part of the fray of nerds who love cinema. And you all have a fantastic day.